Maybe musicals. And so it was that Professor Wantonspaff led the Underfoots to safety, and they settled on the shores of Lake Tippecabubble, where they thrived for 3 generations. Alas, as with all societies, they grew fat and indolent, and eventually were forced to eat the good professor, owing to his tendency to live up to his name. The end.
What?
The end. What? Nothing? You don't feel like going back to sleep or anything?
Did you hear me snoring?
No, I'm afraid no.
Oh, that's another theory out of the way. Right.
Do you think it would work on 4-year-olds then?
Now there's a question.
One that doesn't need an answer.
Definitely not.
Welcome back to Maybe Musicals.
Howdy ho.
For our Wednesday show and Act 2. That's 4. Act 2 of The Pervert of the Opera. As always, I am still Max.
And I am still definitely Sam.
And you are bid most welcome to our humble abode. Thank you once again to all of our lovely new subscribers. You are making some very weary men feel very happy.
Thank you.
In particular today, before we do a quick shout out for Sargent Family, who are a content creator and a channel based in Pennsylvania, I believe.
Yay.
Who have been giving us some lots of wonderful, wonderful support. You go check out their channel. It's a family channel of them having wonderful and fun adventures in their local area. Some of those, the ones I was watching earlier, were shot in sort of November time around Thanksgiving.
Okay.
They're going out and exploring the Pennsylvania countryside.
Oh, very, very interesting.
Yes, yeah. So do give them a look and throw them a like. And on that note, with regards to subscribers and views and things like that, if you are a regular YouTuber, you will no doubt be aware that content creators are finding it difficult at the moment, as people are being unsubscribed left, right and centre. So if you do like what we do and do want to keep up with it, then please do make sure that you are still subbed to the channel. Hit the notification bell. I do speak English. Hit the notification bell in our discussions feed in there or in any of the videos. Leave us a comment. That generally helps your subscription stick. Otherwise you get what I did the other day, where I had to resubscribe to a channel twice in about 3 hours. But that's another story.
Indeed.
Last very quick thing before we jump into this is just to say, if you've been watching the show for a while, then you'll know that we tend to do like 5 months on and then a month off. So July is our month off. So Friday's show will be the last one until our pitch meeting in August. There will be something appearing on the channel. It won't be Maybe Movies, but don't worry, we haven't gone anywhere.
We will return.
We don't have a choice. We're stuck here. Did you have anything you wanted to...
Oh, yes. Just another call out to one of my favourite people on the internet at the moment, which is Poltergeist, or Poltergeist OD. You can find him on Instagram. And in particular, you should probably check out his latest track. If you're a music lover and a fan of horror movies, you'll enjoy Leatherface. Check it out on his YouTube channel. And if you want to find out more about him, follow him on Instagram. Thanks.
What's this?
What's...
It's the wrong colour.
It is the wrong colour.
It's quite nice, though.
Oh, good. As long as it's enjoyable. I won't comment on what it looks like, though.
Is that what was been in those demijohns I found under the sink?
Not saying anything.
Tastes good to me. It's not the Drink at 100 bottle, which has obviously been elevated.
Oh, yes. Indeed.
Do you think that means we're getting close?
I would hope so.
Do you think when we do reach there, we'll know what we're getting close to?
I would also hope so.
With that out of the way, let's have a look at Act 2.
Indeed, Act 2.
Woohoo!
So, what have we got here? We've got first couple of scenes are going to kind of run on rails.
The notes will be pretty much the same.
Yeah, we've got the notes, opening night, and then prima donna, of course.
I've got a couple of little bits, again, just little flavour things that I wanted to put in there. It's only occurred to me, he's an alien, does he really give a damn about anything as puerile as money? So I was wondering that what would he want to be paid in? And I was thinking maybe he wants to be paid in leather and lace.
Right, okay, why would he not need money?
He's an alien.
Yeah, but he still does need to do things like eat and stuff.
I just assumed he'd have something from his machine, however he got here, to be able to do that.
Feels a bit superfluous. Also, it speaks to his extravagance.
Of course.
Ha! You would actually have a point there in the end.
Nice. The other little bit that I wanted to do, just with that scene between the rest of the cast, when Madame Giry and Meg appear, and Meg has one line in that, she says she needed to rest, or she needed rest. And again, feeding into the backstory, doesn't need to go any further than this. It's just, in the film itself, Jennifer Aniston delivers that very sweetly and nicely, as the character is. In our version, her voice just drops and it comes out like magenta, that kind of husky kind of delivery, and causes Madame Giry to kind of turn and look at her like...
Rest.
And that was it. There was just that little moment.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
But yes, as you say, the rest of this, up until the second performance, is going to pretty much go on rails. With his appearance above the opera and his line about my instruction to leave box 5 be left empty, would it be in Frankenfurter's case, I instructed that my box not to be filled?
Of course it would. Gold star. The bit with him and Bouquet in the rafters. I just had this strange idea that it's Frankenfurter playing into the gender expectations, and I just imagine that Bouquet actually thinks he's following one of the girls.
Oh, I like it. Yeah,
because there's that bit when they sort of come face to face up in the rafters, and he kind of recoils very physically. And imagine the whole time he thinks he's chasing one of the chorus girls up into the rafters on a laugh, and then he confronts him, and this is.
I put down less stealth, more ominous strutting. That's what I put.
Oh right,
but no, I like your idea better. It makes more sense. It's trapping him with his own downfall or with his own weaknesses.
Yes.
So I like that. Yes. Yeah. You can have one. Definitely have one back for that. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
I mean, the only other thing I put like that is when he's confronted with Frankenfurter. Initially, he's not afraid of him until he sees what's under the cape.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Although it did make me think that just before he throws him off the thing, does he give him a little kiss?
Oh, absolutely.
Just to make him feel completely outside of his comfort zone before he plummets down to the stage.
I mean, you could even have it that it doesn't actually push him off. It could just be that he recoils so much from the kiss that he falls off.
Oh, and he's forgotten that he's got the noose around his... He's
his own homophobia.
Yes.
It continues the sexual notion.
It does.
Through to the fullest conclusion, doesn't it?
Now, I did have a thought, but again, it might be too big of a departure from the plot of the film. With Carlotta's mouthwash.
Yes.
Now, obviously in the film, they just take her out of the action for that particular performance.
Yes.
Could we then take her out on a more permanent basis and then have the rest of the scenes that feature Carlotta be filled by Meg, in which way not only has he delivered on his promise to Madame Giry by making her a daughter, but also she wants her daughter to do well. Here is your entrance onto a higher level within the opera.
I see. Interesting. You kind of stumped me. It does feel like it's the sort of manipulative thing that Frankenfurter would do.
And this entraps both of them, yeah. And she could easily take on that role right through until the end of the film. So this just elevates her a bit more because it makes her feel less like an exposition point and more part of the plot.
Yeah, I do know what you mean. She sort of disappears for a while. Just trying to think. Does Madame Carlotta?
The only other times that you see her after this is at the mask ball, and then obviously for the final performance. But again, that's really just in the initial part. It's playing second fiddle to Christine anyway, which is kind of what Meg does through the entire thing anyway. So replacing Carlotta with Meg doesn't change anything from that point on.
I see your point, but of course part of the point of what happens with Carlotta is he's punishing her pride. It's not like, oh, he didn't just humiliate her on stage and bring her down. He continues to have her put into all of the humiliating roles for a prima donna.
The Phantom does would Frankenfurter, though.
He's a petty jealous bitch. He is, sorry. We all know this. You know, I mean, that's so much of what drives Rocky Horror, is the petty jealousy.
True, but then you get things like, with Eddie, he's jealous, so he just kills him.
Oh, yes.
I mean, my thought was that if he replaced her or laced her mouthwash with something like caustic soda or something like that, that basically makes her incapable of ever singing again.
I guess. Why are we going so dark here?
I don't know. I was probably in that kind of mood when I was watching the film.
There's a moment of capricious cruelty. You mean just not like Carlotta or something?
No, it just... I suppose it was because when I originally watched this version, I was kind of expecting her to be removed from the action altogether, and then she wasn't.
When I first saw it, I thought the same thing. Yeah. I thought that was going to be acid or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to. It was just an idea. If you're not happy with it, then we can carry on with...
No, because it's equally petty to do that. To put Meg in... Oh, not only are you now playing second fiddle to Christine, you're just not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it working. I think I struggle with the just destroying her voice thing. I think it's a bit that I struggle with.
So it's just something that will take her out of the action, for some time.
But his instructions will be that
Meg should fill her roles.
Yeah.
Perfect. So then we get to the rooftop.
The rooftop, and all I ask of you.
Which it is sumptuous in the film.
Yes, yes.
I had one thing for this, because obviously he's hidden behind the statue, isn't he, listening?
The angel statue.
Yes. I thought what we could do with this is you have the entire scene on the rooftop, but there's no sign of Frankenfurter. They do the duet, they go back into the building, the door closes. And then it's almost like the camera takes a step back, and he's down in the basement watching it all on a monitor. Nice
callback. Yeah. Yes, why not?
Because then I was thinking that his kind of reprise of that song and his anger and his despair. I for some reason I imagine it being delivered in with the same kind of pace, almost as his original entrance in Rocky. It's very flamboyant, bombastic, very kind of in your face. And so he can do that from down in the catacombs. He can rage as much as he likes about what's happening to his experiment.
Yeah.
Does that work?
Yeah, I think so.
The last line of that scene that he delivers would be, "Curse the day you didn't do all the pervert wanted with you."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I expected as much from that one. Yeah, absolutely.
And then we move to the masked ball.
Yes.
Which is, apparently it's 3 months later, because it's New Year, isn't it?
I did not realise that. No.
I heard somebody in one of the dialogues. I think it's it might be between Carlotta or the two owners. They just make up. You have to really listen for it, or you'll miss it.
Oh, okay.
But they do say, yeah, it's like 3 months of peace.
Ah, right.
Since the events of the second performance, and it's a new year, and it is interrupted.
I think this is going to be an all-out. I mean, it already is an all-round performance, but everything's going to be dialed up to 11.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is Frankenfurter's big moment. He's been operating from the shadows this entire time, effectively, and he really, really wants to be the centre of attention.
Absolutely. Could imagine that as well. Yeah, it is just, boom, here I am in all my glory. Is his opera Don Juan? Or is his opera the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Yes, but it would not be the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It would be called something else, but It would be the Rocky Horror Picture Show renamed. Yes. Yeah, I think it would be. Yeah, or you know, add like a Victorian version of it.
Exactly,
yeah.
Yes. Which does make me think when we get to Act 3, when we see that, is the extract of it we see.
Let's be honest, the idea of Mad Scientist wasn't unknown then.
Well, Frankenstein was written,
exactly.
Early 1800s, wasn't it? So.
Yeah, so it's not like nobody knows any of the tropes.
Fantastic. So that means he's going to have the other guys, so he's supposed to be playing Brad, I suppose, and then Christine will be playing Janet.
Yes.
Fantastic. Sorry. I also think at this point, because there's that little bit in like background kind of window dressing in that scene of all the staff and stuff backstage, grabbing bottles of drink and having a bit of a party themselves.
Yes.
Do you think maybe he would have put something in the wine just to heighten their wantonness?
Yes, absolutely. He'd want to turn the masquerade into an orgy, if that's what you're suggesting.
Yes. I was just thinking.
Sorry, it took my brain a moment to catch on to what you were suggesting there. Yes, yeah. Absolutely. Of course, that's going to be on his agenda.
I know what it can be called. I know what his opera can be called.
But
it's just a jump to the left. He disappears and gets chased by Raoul, but that doesn't really do him any favours.
No.
He drops into... I mean, that can be the same with the Hall of Mirrors and that kind of thing.
Absolutely, because it's, again, performative and all of that stuff.
Yeah. I did think, but then I thought I could use it later, either his appearance or probably his disappearance would be facilitated by the use of the sonic transducer.
Oh, of course, yes. Nice. Because we've already agreed that basically his lair is the lab, so he's got that technology down there in some way or another. Yeah.
But the reason why I thought I wasn't too sure about it in using it here is because Raoul follows him, and obviously if he disappears using the sonic transducer, he can't follow him.
Of course.
So maybe he appears via it and then disappears down the hole, just to not completely freak everybody out. It's an effect, but they can also see how he did it.
Yes, we can see how he did it. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. And then we get to...
Madame Giry's tale and the end of the act.
Is her tale going to be the truth? Not so much for the audience's benefit, but for Raoul's benefit.
Yes. Yeah, well, yes. I think it'd have to be. And I think it'd have to be for the audience's benefit as well, because, I mean, what we've shown them so far, even though he's got this amazing technology and stuff like that, he could easily be a mad scientist. Mm-hmm. He's an alien. So yes, we need it to be the truth. Because that's what causes that change of resolve going into the third act. They're no longer playing along with him, they're trying to
defeat him. And also, it's going to make some very strange looks then between Raoul and Meg, because he knows that he made her. I suppose she has to leave that part in, because it explains what has endeared her to him and defending him. So yes, she has to, really.
Why did you hide him all these years? I had to. I owed him everything that I have.
Perfect.
She could look at, maybe Meg could pass by in the corridor, because they're in the corridor, aren't they, when she's telling the tale?
They're in her quarters.
Oh, they're in her quarters?
Yeah.
Well, maybe Meg could just knock on the door just at the end of it, and there'd just be an awkward glance, and that would be it. You don't even need to say it.
I have another one, that's perfect. Again, as you were just describing it, I can just picture it in my head, that moment as they're both kind of looking, she walks in.
So we know that the penny's dropped, but nobody's saying anything.
Fantastic. Yeah, and Meg probably doesn't even know.
Of course not. In order for her to fulfill her role properly, she has to be pretty much innocent.
Yes. Oh.
I'm sorry, folks. I think we broke him.
Not quite. Almost. It suddenly occurred to me that if the old lady in the black and white sequences was supposed to be older Meg, not older Madame Giry, right. Then because Meg is a creation of his,
yes,
they could have her there looking no different to how she did in the...
You do that at the end. That'd be that last sequence as they drive away in their little cabs.
Right.
She'd get into the car and Meg would be there, looking just like she does.
Yes, of course. Cool. That brings us then to the end of Act 2.
It is, yes. Yeah, it was a little... I'm not sure how we got there, but yeah. I think it works, and it comes together. It brings out Frank's character completely, like, trying to turn the masquerade into an orgy and all of that stuff, and his maniacal nature. It's all good. And we learn the truth about him. He's not an outsider. He's an alien. So there's a bit of an ooh moment for the audience.
On that note, we will wrap this up for today. Please do come back and join us on Friday for Act 3 of our Perverted Opera. I suppose that's right. Yeah.
It's fairly close, yeah.
And again, as I said earlier on, just remember that Fridays will be the last one from us until the beginning of August. Until then, have a great couple of days, whatever you're doing. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all the usual gumph. And we'll see you then.
As always, guys, TTFN.
Ba 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 ba.